sugar. Oh, honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting.
5 to 10% of people with diabetes have type 1 diabetes. That means they cannot produce insulin and have episodes of low blood sugar levels. This can't just be managed by exercise and diet. 90 to 95% of people with diabetes have type 2 diabetes, and they are insulin resistant. This can be prevented or delayed through diet and exercise. Diabetes type 1, also known as juvenile diabetes, is a condition where the body is not able to produce either enough or any insulin. The pattern of inheritance is not always clear. If a mother, son, father, or brother has type 1 diabetes, one is at higher risk than the average being. Diabetes type 2 is also known as adult-onset diabetes. It comes from consuming a massive amount of sugar and affects the way the body processes glucose. If type 2 runs in one's family, they do have a higher risk of becoming diabetic, but really it's more of an environmental disease. Basically, the glucose can't get into the cells of the body and then it builds up in the blood vessels. In 1910, Sir Edward Schaefer discovered diabetes when doing a study on the pancreas and found insulin. They injected insulin from the pancreas of a dog and found that this lowered the blood sugar of the dog. They predicted that this would be true for humans too. In 1923, the commercial production of insulin began. Symptoms include blurry vision, extreme fatigue, pain or numbness in hands and feet, weight loss even when eating more food, and slow healing cuts and bruises. Diabetes also impacts one's quality of life because suddenly they are not allowed to eat certain foods and may need to prick their finger a certain amount of times a day to check their blood sugar. They also may become depressed. 29.1 million, or 9.3% of Americans have diabetes. The test for diabetes is called the A1C test. It's a blood test that provides information about a person's average levels of blood sugar. People with type 1 diabetes must take insulin, whereas if you have type 2, just managing your diet and taking a medication that controls your blood sugar and glucose could be enough of a treatment. The diet is pretty similar for both types of diabetes. Both suggest that one lives a healthy lifestyle and eats healthy foods. Both include staying away from saturated fats such as butter, cheese, and solid fat in red meat, and including saturated fats such as nuts, avocados, and oily fish. If one has diabetes, their body does not make or use insulin properly, and by exercising, their body can become more responsive to insulin. There is no cure, however, but if one eats healthy food, exercises, and takes the medicine they are prescribed, their glucose levels can continually be in a healthy range. Life expectancy, however, is 11 years earlier than average. Diabetes patients spend an average of $6,000 annually on costs for treating their disease. Because diabetes is hard on a person, Defeat Diabetes Foundation has diabetes support groups. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and jdrf.org submits donations and gives information to the public, mainly about type 1 diabetes.
Say heck with diabetes. I'm having chocolate cake and drinking beer and having chocolate cake.